Yeah, Preston, this UVA men's basketball team ended the regular season ranked #1 in the country. It entered this year's NCAA tournament as the #1 overall seed in the bracket. But now this UVA men's basketball team will forever be remembered as the 1 in 135-1, the first 1 seed to ever lose to a 16 seed in the NCAA tournament. All right, welcome to Week 8 of Friday Night End Zone. He is Zach Francis, I am Damon Dillman, and let it be known, October 12th, Week 8, it finally felt like football season.
Man, didn't it feel good out there tonight?
Well, UVA fans have turned out in full force today. You can see around me, everyone is getting hyped right now. We've got all the signs out here. People are outside starting Thursday night, but they are all here to see this show, ESPN's College Game Day.
By now, you know, it had been 8 years since the Wahoos were in the NCAA tournament. That changed on Friday night. And they did one better, picking up a 6-point win over Cal, their first tournament win in 9 years.
It was cold, it was wet, and it was rainy, but it was all good feelings here for the Cavaliers as they get their first win in the ACC since 2014. That means none of the seniors that are on this team have ever won a game in the ACC, and this is also Lars Tiffany's first win in the ACC as coach.
Now, Bronco said a few weeks ago that he thinks you might be the fastest guy on the team. You think that's a fair assessment?
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt?
Without a doubt.
Who keeps up with you?
Alameda tries, me and Alameda, we go back and forth.
All right, Grant, we appreciate the time.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, sir, as always. Yes.
What's a wahoo?
Well, it's a fish, man.
Oh, okay.
Do your research.
Right.
Come on, Grant.
I know, I'm just asking.
Well, the Tom Sox are hosting more than 30 interns this summer behind the scenes. I got the chance to sit down with a couple of them over the last couple of days, and they might be coming after my job in the next few years.
Well, all preseason long, there was a huge debate with UVA who was the fastest on the field. Well, today, they got to decide who was the fastest behind the wheel at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Cavman, did you vote today? Cavman did vote today. Breaking news at John Paul Jones Arena now. This also marks the start of Tony Bennett's 10th season as head coach of the Cavaliers. He is 8-1 in his previous 9 season openers. He only lost in 2012 against George Mason. Try to extend that streak to 6 in a row tonight. We'll have updates for you 10 and 11 for now live at JPJ with Cavman, Damon Dillman, CBS 19 Sports.
When the call comes in, few are ready faster than the Orange County Volunteer Fire Company. That's because in the heat of competition, there are precious few seconds.
We only get one chance at running this. You get down there and it's, you don't get a chance to say, well, we had a bad run, can we do it again? We have one chance.
Orange County has created a dynasty at the Virginia State Firefighters Convention for more than 20 years, including a run of 14 straight titles.
We practice this hard. We expect to win. We don't like to lose.
Other teams come by to watch us practice to get tips. We got a team started in Spotsylvania. They did it for a number of years. We've had other teams come in and watch us. We've actually helped them train so that they would be competitive.
While some teams struggle to put together teams, Orange competes in all 8 events, from 2-man air pack to the main event, the 6-man ladder.
Take first place just about every year.
They say orange to the line for the 6-man ladder. Everything stops to come watch.
The games are fasting and fun, but each develops the skills they use to save lives.
All these things that we do, they actually help with the skills that we have on the fire ground too. Pulling the ladder, putting your coat on, pulling a line, those type of things are all the bread and butter stuff that we do as a fire department.
After more than 50 years of competing, the company continues to take pride and put in the work every summer.
The guys keep showing up, whether it's 100 degrees, if it's pouring down, raining, we'll come up here and we'll say, well, let's practice.
In Orange, Preston Willett, CBS 19 Sports.
UVA fans may still be a little bracket averse at the moment, but it's time for another one. The U.S. Quidditch Cup will be played later this month in Texas, and UVA is a 1 seed in that bracket. That's right, Quidditch, the fictional sport originally created in the Harry Potter books. Now, CBS 19 Zach Francis says Quidditch, it's not all about flying on brooms, but there is something magical about this UVA team.
There's one question the Whomping Wahoos get more than any other.
Do you actually fly? And the answer, of course, is no. Drone technology isn't that good yet.
Nobody understands how Quidditch works without magic.
The UVA Quidditch team might not actually fly, but they have cast the right spell to get back to the U.S. Quidditch Cup for the 5th time.
I would say that this is probably the best that the team's been so far. It's really exciting. You know, it's definitely evolved into its own sport that's separate from the franchise.
We do technically play a sport that's made up by J.K. Rowling, but like every day when we go out and we set up our pitch and we're playing, it's not like, oh, I'm like Harry Potter.
For some on the team, being like Harry Potter was a draw. For others, like Matthew Cooper, he had not read the books. Now a senior seeker, Quidditch is a major part of his life.
Catching a stitch is some of my most vivid memories of my 4 years here. It's very much like when a basketball player makes a buzzer beat and the whole bench crushes him, basically. It's a very similar experience.
For others, it's the magic of creating something new.
Imagine if you were with Naismith trying to figure out the rules for basketball, you know, before he decided to cut the bottom out of the peach basket. That's kind of what we're doing, you know?
In the past, the Wahoos have made it to the round of 16. For this team, it's about doing something no other UVA team has done.
This is my last year, and so I feel like I want to put everything out on the pitch this year, and I want to really see how far my commitment to this team has gotten.
I can't wait to see what our team can do against them because, you know, we're really competitive this year, and I think it's our year to really shine.
At UVA, Zach Francis, CBS 19 Sports.
Well, Zach, as you can see, we've kind of reached the aftermath here at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Over here, you can see they're sweeping up the confetti that was falling from the sky earlier. Above me, there is a basketball hoop conspicuously missing its net. That is headed back to Charlottesville in small pieces with the ACC tournament champions. Now, things may be quiet now, but less than an hour ago, this place was rocking with UVA fans. This is what it looked like. UVA celebrating the 3rd ACC title in program history, the 2nd in the last 5 years after taking care of North Carolina tonight. Now, this is a UVA team that was unranked at the beginning of this season, picked to finish 6th in the ACC in the preseason poll, and the Cavaliers, well, they end the year on top of the league.
We didn't know what to expect because of the inexperience, but I knew they had a special unselfishness and chemistry pretty early on, and whether that would parlay into being, you know, an ACC regular season champ in a conference, you just don't know. But they've done some special things, and they're really fun to coach.
I knew it last year. You know, coming in with my freshman class, I knew we were talented, and even last year's team was talented, but this team, we just worked so well together. Just blessed to be here, and so excited for the seniors on our team and the whole group.
We're a family, man. It's not just out here. We're together all the time back home, and we love each other. These are my brothers forever, man, and I'm just happy.
It's amazing, man. It really is. To be what we were preseason, to tune out everyone and just work and stay united to accomplish this and the regular season is a big accomplishment. We got one more goal to do now.
Yeah, now the Wahoos await Sunday's announcement of the NCAA tournament bracket. UVA, unanimous #1 team in both polls, #1 in the RPI, now ACC regular season and tournament champions. It would be a surprise if the Cavaliers are not the #1 overall seed when that bracket is released tomorrow. Live at the Barclays Center, Damon Dillman, CBS 19 Sports.
Just like any 3-year-old, Luke Edwards is filled with energy and clings to his dad.
Hey, Coach.
What do I coach?
In here.
But to those who know Luke, his life has been anything but typical.
I felt like Luke's life from the very beginning, before he even was here, was really extra special.
On Christmas Eve in 2014, while Matt worked as a grad assistant at BYU under Bronco Mendenhall, the Edwards family received their first bombshell.
Mary Beth had an ultrasound, and we found out that Luke was going to be born with bilateral club feet.
After a couple months of casts and now braces for Luke, Matt was offered a job 2,000 miles away at Southern Virginia. It was there when a routine checkup for Luke delivered even more heartbreak.
We got a call at about 8 at night, and we were just about to put him down, and she told us that we needed to take him to the hospital, and so we said, okay, we'll just, we'll take him in tomorrow morning. And she just kind of took a breath and said, no, you need to take him in tonight.
We're looking back, Luke's sleeping in his car seat, and you're scared. You don't know what's going on, so I'm holding back tears, and I remember looking over at Matt saying, is there any way that this could be cancer?
Shortly after, Luke was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
Why him? He's a great little boy. happy and he loves to, he's got a lot of energy.
The family began making 4 to 5 day trips to the UVA Children's Hospital, where down the road, Matt's former coach, Bronco Mendenhall, had just taken over the football program.
Just said, I know that a lot's going on, but if you have a spot, I'd love to join your staff. And he wrote back that he didn't have a spot.
All the while, Luke continued getting treatment at UVA, and the community they left behind in Utah surrounded them again.
I haven't talked to these people now in 2 or 3 years and saying, hey, what room are you in? We're just going to bring you out a meal, or hey, can we grab you a hotel room for tonight? Hey, come stay at our house.
Then finally, a position opened up for Matt as an offensive analyst, and Luke got the chance to join another family of Thursday's heroes.
2, 3, go!
To see the team and the other coaches, it was, it truly cemented that it was, our family out here.
Through every trial, a path of little miracles leading the family home.
It felt a step above luck. It felt more like a miracle that it all worked out the way that it did.
We've sat down and counted the miracles, and it's too many to count, but we're definitely really thankful and grateful.
UVA, go to goals.
Go Hoos, go.
Chris McGarren led the Western Albemarle boys to their first ever state title game appearance last year. But now Virginia first year, McGarren has traded in his game jersey to become a manager with the UVA men's basketball program.
I've watched guys like Malik Frazier and some of the other walk-ons and managers, Green Machine guys before me and before us, and being able to be a part of it is really special.
Between managers and walk-ons, there's a lot of local flavor on this year's Green Machine. The veteran of that group is third-year Grant Kersey.
A lot of local kids, which is awesome, just because I know we all grew up coming to games, watching UVA games, and just like idolizing the program.
It's pretty cool, we grew up playing together, so that's definitely a fun experience now.
Kersey and Katstra helped Albemarle reach the state semifinals for the first time in school history in 2016. That same year, Jaden Nixon and Matt Palumbo were on the St. Anne's Belfield team that reached the state semifinals.
I knew Grant well. I knew Jaden and Austin, I think, a little better because we played AAU together. And then Chris, we actually also played a year of AAU together as well.
I've been playing with Grant, Matt, Chris, playing with and against those guys since I've been a little kid. So being able to play with them with the UVA basketball team has just been a dream.
Now there are times in UVA practices when the Wahoos are matched up against 5 local guys.
They go so hard. Sometimes it gets annoying because we're like trying to go 75%, but they don't let us do that, and that's, ultimately good for us.
We take a lot of pride in it, just doing our best to challenge the guys on the team however we can. Sometimes that's not much. They're, one of the best teams in the country.
Oh, I love being on Green Team. I take pride in just simply being able to get our guys better. Like, I don't care about scoring or anything. It's just running what the other team runs and trying to prepare them as best we can is kind of an honor to even be here.
Those local players also take pride in representing Central Virginia.
Any kid growing up that really loves basketball in this area is going to look up to UVA's program. That's what I did, and that's what a lot of these guys have done. Every day I look around at the arena and I'm like, I hope I don't ever take this for granted because it's an incredible experience.
I know a bunch of high school kids come to the games and watch the games. See kids from this area come to a big program like this and see what hard work can get you far. No matter what, you can always impact a program, and if you're there to serve, there'll be a spot for you to help out and create opportunities from there.
With the Wahoos, Damon Dillman, CBS19 Sports. But we had some really good football games tonight. We begin at Monticello High School with our Friday night end zone game of the week. Louisa trying to get to 7-0 for a third consecutive season. They were visiting those Monticello Mustangs tonight. Opening possession, Monticello trying to punt it away, but it's blocked right to Derek Barber. He takes it in, and just like that, Louisa's up 7-0 early in this one. Louisa ball in the first quarter. Jared Hunter from 42 yards out. Outruns everybody and then gets to the pylon for the touchdown. First of 2 on the night for Hunter. It was 21-0 Louisa after 1. It was 28-0 in the second. Malachi Fields getting away from that Louisa defense into the secondary, across midfield, into Louisa territory, finally tripped up, but that's a gain of 43, and it sets up on 4th and goal from the 6. Fields rolling out into the end zone, and he finds Trenton Johnson for the touchdown, getting the Mustangs on the board 28-7 at that point. But at the other end, Rob Allender into the end zone. Aaron Aponte is there for the touchdown. 4-yard score there. It was a 35-7 game at the half. Third quarter from the 4. Robbie Morgan on the direct snap for the Lions. He fights his way into the end zone. His second touchdown of the game. 42-7 Louisa at that point with the moving clock in the fourth quarter. Fields still moving. Gets into the end zone from 10 yards out. Mustangs put a couple up on the board late in this one. Made it a little more interesting at the end. 42-28 there you see is the final. Louisa does get to 7-0.